What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining us another week, Party Wagon Podcast. This is episode 39. I am accompanied by two guys that are above me. Cody, who's ever so nice to let us use his StreamYard. It's the only reason he's here. He's like, I'll let you use the StreamYard for
That's
letting
the
me in an
perks.
episode,
That's
right?
the perks.
And then we've got Steven, as always, wearing that cool t-shirt with a website on it.
Yeah, snazzy.
How's that website doing? How's the traffic? People visiting it?
It's actually really good. It's surprisingly, people are hitting it more and more. We're getting probably 500 hits a week on average now.
Not bad. We got some cool checklists.
That's nice.
Yeah. Steven keeps the checklist updated. So if you're trying to keep track of all the turtles that are coming out and see what you're missing and you don't have, they're in there. So be sure to check that out. Any traffic from like the southern Georgia area, like any penitentiaries, like people trying to keep track of their trolls? I'm sorry, it's been a while. So
I understood that reference. I get it.
The only reason I bring it up is because I'll tell a quick story before we jump in. So over the weekend, Dave, the TMNT collector, Dave's a close friend of mine. Him and his wife drove in from Canada and stayed the night with me. Because they wanted to go to a local concert for a musician that his wife liked. So we're just hanging out in the hot tub, and his wife didn't know the story. And Dave was saying, like, yeah, one day I shared one of your posts, and that dude immediately DM'd me just talking shit about you, and I had no idea who either of you are. You just posted a cool photo. So I'm like, well, if this guy's talking shit about him, I should probably go follow him. He seems pretty cool in my book. That, and that's how I became friends with Dave.
Wow, look at that, bringing you two together.
I know, right? Did you see
the
Dave?
Interesting thing?
Go ahead, Steve. Go.
I was going to say the interesting thing is that same person did the same thing for Mad Hatter. Not Dave, but the other.
Right. That's right. He did that to Nier as well. That's so funny.
Interesting. That's wild. Yeah. That's.
Did y'all see in the Cool Kids Club? Dave got his hands on the Pitch, Rocksteady and Pitch Turtle,
the
original.
That's sick.
Hanging out with Isaac. If you don't know who Isaac is, everybody, Isaac did the Turtle Power, the official documentary, like 10 years ago, and he's working on a second one right now.
That's dope.
But yeah, Dave went up and got to hold them, and like that's crazy.
Yeah, I'd be afraid to touch those. I'd be afraid I'd be the guy that's like, whoop, okay,
yeah.
All right.
Somebody said, like, are you sure like you had a lot of balls one-handing them, like without like cupping them so they didn't fall? Yeah, I didn't even know he was doing that. That's so cool. So
that's rad.
Hell yeah. So anyway, chatter out of the way. We didn't really know what we were going to talk about, and we just jumped in. We were supposed to have Jay, TMNT 1987, with us. The dude bailed for what? Did you say football?
Football. Steve? Yeah, football.
Dude, come on. Sports.
Supposedly, isn't he supposed to be a basketball guy? What is he doing watching football?
He's just a generic ass human. Sports. I watch basketball. I watch football.
I mean, granted, it is the kickoff today, the opening season. But
who cares? There's a kickoff every fucking year. There's only one Party Wagon podcast, episode 39.
Well, and the kickoff isn't even the same anymore. They have like weird kickoffs now because the kickoffs are so boring. They had to change them.
I don't watch sports. Sports is the one thing that like I enjoy sports, but sports fans ruin sports for me. So I don't want to be included in any of that.
I get that.
I'm a real dabbler. And then if the Giants make it to the Super Bowl, I'm right back in because I'm a lifelong Giants fan. But the key is you only publicly support them when they're doing well.
They're doing well. I live right in the middle of New York, so everything in where I'm at is all Buffalo Bills.
Dang.
All Bills, man. April's family's obsessed with the Bills. They've got Bills everything. They cosplay in their Bills outfits during games. I saw this one dude roll up to McDonald's the other day in like a van. He was in a wheelchair, and he had a special van, and the whole thing was like a wrap of the Bills Stadium, and it said Bills Mafia. We even have like a McDonald's drink that's called the Bills Mafia, like frozen drink, and it's blue and red, and it's like, I don't know, man. Putting mafia at anything is the corniest shit for me. I hate it. Dude, it's the corn. It's like, yeah,
Turtle
we're part of the
Mafia.
Ninja Turtles Mafia. It's like, you're fucking stupid.
Anyway, back to toys.
Half of my family's Italian, and like part of them from like the early 1900s were in the. Or I'm pretty sure we're in the mafia because I don't know where the hell the money came from. But anyway, We're switching it up today. This is going to be one of those episodes where I'm going to probably be a little spicy. We're going to have some debates, I guess. We're going to talk about a figure that some people have been really super excited about in the community, like Jay. I feel like Cody's on like a 30-70. You're like 70% high on that. Would I be true?
On Mezco? Or
on the Mezco product we'll be talking about? The specific product, not the company.
Yeah, I would go 70-30. Yeah.
Okay. And then Steven hasn't even opened his yet, right?
No, but I've seen people's pictures of it.
It's different though.
Yeah.
It's different when you open it. So we're going to talk about that. Some people in the party wagon did not like what I was saying with like the value proposition of action figures. And I feel like that people just weren't understanding because they're defending it. So I thought we'd talk about it. And I'm hoping Steven can contribute without opening it and playing with it yet. I know that's a weird one, but
well, I'll tell you this: from the pictures, it doesn't look like it's worth it.
Right. So what we're talking about, we're alluding, is this guy right here, the San Diego Comic-Con. Was it 2024 this year? Yeah, the exclusive Mezco Casey Jones. So we're gonna be talking about this. So correct me if I'm wrong. $120 plus shipping.
Yeah, I believe so.
I feel like it ended up being like 140, 150 because they make you sign for it and shit. So they pay that extra and they pass that special non-savings to the consumer.
Yep. Yeah, because I remember I had like $40 in Mezco points, so it brought me down to like 110 or something.
Right. So what we're going to talk about is value prop, how people feel about it. And like, I don't know what the real takeaway here is. Maybe it's a campaign for third-party figures unofficially. Maybe it's just having people speak more about value prop. We talked about this when it came down to exactly. So we talked about this with the NECA sewer layers, which Donatello's lab just showed up, and what, under 2,000 it says were made.
Yeah, it was under like 2,000.
Yeah, so 1,900 were made. That's not a lot in the toy community, but for something like that, maybe it is. And we're just gonna kind of talk about it. So I want to let the guest. Let's have Cody. I want your hot take. What are you thinking about? Like, what do you feel? You said 70-30 Mezco.
On the value proposition of Mezco Casey Jones or Mezco in general. Yeah. I think it's hard because there's a few different areas you can come at it from. It's like and you would probably have more perspective over at like Bull Airs on like actual manufacturing costs, like having a better idea of what things actually cost and the kind of like markup they're getting. But as like let's say an oblivious consumer, $120 for a single figure is just a lot to swallow. Like, you're never gonna, like, I bought it and I don't feel ripped off, right? I feel like personally the value's there, but if anybody says that's way too much for a figure, it's like, yeah, that's way too much for a figure, right? Where if you're spending, like, I think the kind of, like, you know how you buy something and you're just like, wildly irresponsible. I think the ceiling for that is like $40. Anything above that, you're just like, I have a sickness.
Oh, I know.
So there's that side of it.
Yeah.
It's way too expensive. Though when you get it in hand, and I do think Casey Jones is better in hand, because in pictures, to me, what stands out is like, this dude's in pajamas. They slapped pajamas on him, which Casey Jones is.
Yeah.
And he's also like a boring human figure. I think, to me, human figures are the most boring of all the figures, because it's just like, that's just a dude. But when you get it in hand and you feel like how well it moves and how smooth it is, there is like a feel to Mezco that you do get an idea, like, okay, there's more. I don't know if it's better engineering or design or plastics or what makes it so smooth, but there is that's like above it. So I can start to imagine like that's where the money's going into, but I can't rightly explain, other than like a low production run, why it's $120.
Yeah. It's definitely premium. Like there's no denying it's a premium figure. Soft goods, leather, the plastics are better than what you're getting in other companies. But Steven, you haven't opened it yet. We've already addressed that. You have it in box. I mean, you can just open it right now. There's no twist ties. It just comes right out. But really, you looking at it, and you've gotten both Mezco turtle sets, right? You got the good ones and then the ugly ass ones, right? The color.
They're
okay.
There, but
So, which I passed on. I almost bought Oscars. Oscars had them up for like $400, and I was like, maybe I'll do it. And then I'm like, no. I'm like, I really hate these. So,
what you're gonna say? This guy isn't gorgeous?
Come on, you picked the worst case. Come on.
I mean, to me, it was like the skin texture that really bothered me. And then I saw them at San Diego, and I'm like, maybe seeing them in person, it will change my perspective on it. It didn't. It really didn't, because for me, that was like, I like reiterations because that's what like the was it Fury Toys is doing, like unofficially. Like they're reimagining a turtle, but like those are like just trying to take cartoons and just reimagining it. And it just didn't work for me. And that I totally accept where people are like, I'm in the minority there. But Steven,
I wouldn't say you're in the minority with the tune. Really? I feel like you're pretty. I don't think they were as well received as the regular turtles they did, for sure.
I mean, maybe I might be in the majority.
Here's the thing. I think Mezco dropped the ball on the OG turtles without the red masks. You have to get them from customizers to make them.
Yeah. At least give one. Yeah, at least give me one. Am I getting a phone call?
I think so.
That's so weird. What the hell? Like, did I just get a phone call?
Jay's ears are burning.
Actually, Jay's coming on now.
Oh,
it is Jay. I'm like, who? I'm like, why the hell am I getting a phone call? And I didn't know I had Discord up here. I'll just add it. I just sent him a link. I had Discord closed. Like, I guess it was still running in the background.
It never closed. You can't quit Discord. Discord quits you when it's ready.
Okay, so I guess we're getting Jay anyway in the episode. But Steven, while we're waiting on Jay to join, right?
Yes, sir.
You have Mezco Casey for what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
Why haven't you opened it?
Just because I haven't done it yet.
But are you excited? Are you not excited?
Let me grab it. I'll open it.
That's what I'm asking. Like, for me, if there's something I'm like, I
wasn't too excited.
I'm so hyped.
I got them just because everybody was doing it. So I'm not a huge Mezco fan, but if I didn't get it, I'd regret it.
Yeah, that's kind of also like that's where the exclusivity gets you. It's like everyone talks about FOMO being a thing, and for most figures, like you don't need to worry about FOMO because like you can get it later. But stuff like Mezco, it's like, yeah, that's if you miss it, so it behooves you, even if you're like on the fence, to just like go for it.
Yeah. So there he is. There's the man.
And we got to stop talking trash about him now.
Wait, which one's me? Which one's Jay?
That's so funny.
Bro, I'm the handsome one.
I love that comparison. Whoa. But yeah, what I was saying before Jay jumped in, rudely interrupted. No, when something like I get something in the mail and I'm so hyped for it, like I'm gonna spend $120 on it. I better be fucking hyped for it. Like I'm getting home from work and I'm getting that shit out of the box and I'm playing with it immediately. Like that's how I am. If something's sitting in the box, like the black and white Universal Monster 2-pack that was like Raph and Leo, that shit sat in the box for like a month and a half. I just took it out of the box and put it on my wall because I got the 4-pack. I didn't give a fuck about it. And it just sat there. But like today I got home, had the Hero Toys Warrior Orc show up. And like I was like, I gotta take a nap because I'm tired, and I was like, nope, I'm busting this bitch open, and we're playing with them. So, like, if I'm hyped on something, so while Jay's jumping in, the subject line that we were talking about was how Jay's wrong about the Mezco KCJ. No, we're talking about value prop and just talking about the Mezco Casey Jones comparative to other things that we've been talking about in text messages, you and I. And in the party wagon. I was going to go last because I'm the hot, spicy take. So we already kind of established a couple things. Steven hasn't opened his yet. Cody, correct me if I'm wrong, we'll say like 70-30, 70% positive, 30% negative. So you're not at 100% like hyped on your purchase. You're like 70%, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair. And like if you're comparing it to like other figures, I think it's clearly better. But still $120 is still a whopper.
Yeah. And Jay, pass it to you, baby boy.
All right, cool. So I got mine for $105 shipped.
That's better.
So if we're talking about that, so the whole like value thing is like a silly thing because let's keep it 100. Like this is a silly conversation because Gary, you have like $20,000 worth of toys behind you, and that might be rounding down. Steven just sold $20,000 worth of toys, which he has kept for years unopened. And Cody, you have more toys than any toy company, or actually any toy store in the tri-state area, in the East Coast tri-state area.
His name says it. He has too much new toys.
I think this is a silly discussion. The only discussion that we should be having, is it a better figure than, is it the best Casey Jones, period? And honestly, it's undeniable. It is undeniably the best Casey Jones. Again, the value thing is like I said, it's silly because we spend money on ridiculous things. Gary, you have spent like $2,000 buying the Ronin figure, like 20 of them.
24. 24.
Yeah, okay, but
Steven spent $200 on stupid evil Rex, or he was about to. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you out of your mind? What are you doing? There was a guy builder. There was it doesn't matter. Like army builder.
It does matter because what makes it better than your $37 NECA figure?
Okay, what makes it better? Soft goods makes it better. Seamless removal of hands, of soft goods.
Head swap alone, that's worth like $30.
A freaking ab crunch makes it better because I could do and this is like a different thing. So I consider myself in a different realm than Cody and then you, Steven. I'm sorry, you guys collect statues. You put your stuff out and you never, ever, ever, ever touch it again. This guy, I might have a babushka on him in 2 weeks. I might have a raincoat on him in a week. He's going to have, his hand is in his pocket. Steven, you will have this toy for 10 years. You will never put his hand in his pocket. You might not even change the hands. Accessories, head sculpts, that stuff does not matter to you at all.
Well, let's be fair. Steven's not going to buy extra pants for him because he's going to be scared to swap the pants. I don't know to put these pants on.
No, I do.
Is that a new shirt too? Have you spent additional money on a shirt?
I actually had this on my Fei Long. But I did buy the red shirt and I did buy the new pants, which was like $12 together. Regardless, I think we are in two different realms. A lot of these people who buy this stuff literally use them as statues.
Well, I think for the purpose of this conversation, we have to just assume it's all apples to apples, right? Like if we're going like straight money. And so when we talk about a NECA $37, Mezco $120. I don't know the math, but whatever the difference is, why you have to quantify why the Mezco is that much better, right? Which I do think it is better, but it's hard to justify it across the board. So I think
to say that it's that much better and to put an actual number on it, because I mean, you and I talked about it. It's almost impossible. Like, how much are the hinges on the arm hand worth?
Yeah,
I don't know. How much is the stupid ab crunch and the double? Like, I can move this, or the soft hair. Like all of these little things that they have done.
Silky rubbery hair.
I can't tell you. Like, I have no idea. Or like the fact that his arm, it can do like a Y. It's not even like a T. Like it can like that way up, and it can go all the way down. It's not like a typical shoulder joint, and it looks like he has a butterfly joint, but it doesn't butterfly.
Yeah.
But Honestly, I think it's a silly discussion. I think because all of us just buy shit that we really want and we really like, and I don't know, because is like you and I also touched on it a little bit. I think NECA is different than Mezco because Mezco is in a limited game versus NECA is in a much more this much larger distribution game. So their prices have to be lower. They have to make prices. And what that means for like the number, I don't know. I'll get a freaking job as the toy finance guy, and I'll tell you.
That's what I'm interested Gary's perspective, because you have your foot in the door of this kind of manufacturing. What do you think honestly it costs to like make a NECA figure and what it costs to make like a Mezco figure?
Yeah, so when you're looking at the cost of production, you're looking at what Mezco does comparative to what they do with NECA. Is you are seeing a higher price on the production end for Mezco, and I say that specifically because of their number runs. You're looking at how many Casey Jones did they do? Was it 12 or 1500?
Around there, not much more than that.
Right, and then your typical NECA run now, depending, is you're looking at like 9,000 to 35,000 pieces.
It's insane.
Depending on, because like Mirage or Cartoon, because Cartoon's a much lower run because you have a bottleneck on distribution. Mirage, Last Ronin, all that movie all goes up for distribution because you have a better, you have more people buying it. Best Buy, Target, fucking like random, like what is that? What's that grocery store near you guys? That's in like Illinois and stuff. That was
Meyer.
Yeah, Myers, like a place like that, like those places. So you got more distribution there. The production, like you are getting, like their gross to net's definitely different than what NECA's getting for cost of production. And the NECA's soft goods are normally reserved for like a cape. Or like
they don't go too nuts. They're certainly not doing like the intricate stitching and
no. Tatsu's probably one of the most intricate we've ever seen.
Yeah, honestly, how shocked were you that much soft goods came with Tatsu? I was blown away. I couldn't believe it.
Soft goods, the heads, the mask, the accessories, like he came with a lot of stuff, even like little things. And that's what we also have to focus on is the amount of sculpt and molds. Just for a mold that's like the crumpled up mask, for a foot soldier, like that's even in there. That's cost. That's for them. But with the
why NECA has a low production rate on Tatsu with all the soft goods now? Because like he's still impossible to find.
I don't know. As many people know that watch this, I don't like to talk about that stuff with Randy and Trevor and all those guys. Like I just don't, like we just talk about friend stuff. So I don't ask them those personal questions when it comes to the business. But if I was a betting man, for them to get this to work, I bet there had to been something with Obata that was like, you can only make X amount with my likeness, because he didn't want them going everywhere. He didn't want them sitting on the shelf. Maybe he like took pride in his look and his appearance and did not want this thing sitting on a shelf. Like the people that wanted it, we're going to try to be able to get it. I think if I was a betting man, that might be it. Or it's something that has to do with like Nickelodeon and Viacom, because you have to know Nickelodeon and Viacom do operate separately. There's two levels of approvals and they can disagree with things. That's actually where Paige Turco is for anybody that's caring right now. Nickelodeon approved, Viacom's hasn't approved yet.
Weird.
So those are things like that. But Jay's point, Jay and I have been like, we went back and forth, and I was talking to April about this, and like I have zero like negativity towards the conversation with Jay. Like I know there are people that like go PlayStation and Xbox and they will like fight to the goddamn death, like it's their blood. But for the Jay and I, like I just like fucking with them. so you know, my idea, what Jay was saying was like silly. I'm talking where I'm coming from is I'm putting aside the limited run of it. I'm putting aside the San Diego Comic-Con of it. I'm agreeing that it's the best Casey Jones we've gotten of any iteration. There's no disagreement when it comes down to the sheer quality of a Casey Jones figure. My problem is a couple of things. Hear me out. On the figure, if I'm paying $120, I don't want the pants to ride up like this, which is very hard to like kind of pull down. This is like a permanent ride. It's not supposed to. There's not. I want a little bit, and like this is what I'm saying. $120, a little more attention to detail. His abs always show more in the iteration from Mirage, so the shirt should be a little bit shorter. If you saw what I was doing earlier, my buddy Leo did some cool face painting. He actually trimmed the shirt up to be more accurate to what he's supposed to look like. We are talking about great pinless joints, and honestly, when you're getting real human elbows, I don't think you're getting anything better than what you're getting here with the way these are constructed. They're pinless, they're seamless. You don't have any break. You're not getting the loyal subjects treatment where it looks like there's 15 goddamn different joints in this elbow and nothing's together. But my problem is we got a great amount of accessories for $120 plus. Well, so what was it? 150 out the door? We were saying it's like 140, 150 out the door with tax and shipping.
Yeah,
I think around there. Because it's 120, and then you have taxes and whatever shipping would be.
So I'm not going to be naive to the licensing costs because this figure was more money because they have to give more money for the licensing. That's how this always works. You always have to have a percentage on that. But if we were in the realm of what Cody brought up earlier with a third party, we have the Darksiders figure. How much was that? How much was Death?
It's like $80.
$80. Okay.
Like so plus shipping, so it's probably like 85, 90.
So this was 100. And this came with soft goods, premium plastics. It lights up. It's got all extra accessories on them. Even like and it's like really well engineered. Came with a little guy who lights up when you put a magnet on him, which is really cool. So like I'm talking about like a value prop on like this. This was $100. He even has it in his face if I can even turn it on. But his eyes light up and everything with this little accessory. So that's the wrong skull. That's from that photo I recently did. So yeah, there we go. You kind of see his eyes. There you go. So like when Jay and I were texting, I was talking about like value and why it's an issue for me. I'm not saying it's an issue for everyone. I'm saying it's an issue for me. When I spend $100 on like a premium ass figure, or I spend $80 on this thing, which has soft, malleable, overly laid chest pieces, fully, you can take them apart, you can redress them however you want. This guy's enormous, okay? Comparative. And I paid $80 for this one. What I'm wanting, and I said this to Jay, if I'm paying $120 for this, you're giving me a goddamn skin suit to fully cover these like a 3-0 figure. And you know the 3-0 turtles, and they're big and bulky, and there's no joints because it's covered with plastic. It's covered with like a rubbery, malleable plastic to cover the joints. If I'm paying $120 for something this size, give me the full treatment. You gave me the soft goods, you gave me the mobility. We know this is reused body because Mezco covers up almost every one of their figures with some kind of outfit. So we know this isn't an exclusive sculpt. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the comments. But if you're giving me $120 and you're getting me this far, give me arm rubber or something to cover up those joints. Give me the most premium figure for something this small, because I feel like for $120, I'm having problem with the one little miss for the value for that price.
I think it's interesting. I think third-party figures are a huge problem for the industry. They're amazing for consumers, but like if I'm working at a toy company, every time a crazy third-party figure comes out,
right,
I'm just shitting my pants because it's like we can't compete with that because they're just doing whatever the hell they want. Nothing has to get approved. If they're like, hey,
insane.
I want Death to have movable eyeballs, there's nobody to stop them. They're just like, yeah.
There's creativity. You have free reign on creativity, and that's.
And maybe in the real world, like somebody owns the patent on movable eyeballs, and they're just like, I don't give a fuck. I'll just make
it.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a hockey vigilante fighter, right?
Right. And that's a great thing because like we're getting a lot of these Fury toys, and unfortunately those are smaller scale. Like that Bebop looks incredible, right?
Yeah.
That new Bebop. But you're getting these smaller scale things, but what if we do get a Casey Jones, Fury, Memory, all these guys are putting out these bangers. Like I was talking about, this just came in today. This was $80. This is probably the most feature lacking one out of anything I've purchased because he didn't have a ton of. He had weapons and hands and everything, but overall, like, he's a pretty basic figure, I'd say, for $80. But he's also he's giant. But there's no licensing there. But when it comes down to licensing, like, yeah, you're right. Like, who owns what? Who owns what technology? For all we know, these shoulder joints that they're using on a third party are patented by Hasbro.
Mm-hmm.
Those butterfly joints can only be used by Hasbro. It's their design. Maybe they did that. I don't know.
Who knows?
Do we really think these are all separate companies? I feel like it's just one conglomerate of just like, because they own all the factories, so they literally have like the best talent in the world of making toys. So I just imagine they all get together and like, let's crack this shit out. Like, oh, Fury Toys? No, it's Rage Toys now. Yeah. Try to stop us.
If it's anything like our manufacturers that we work with in for our clothing, they're all in the same. They're literally all in the same neighborhood. They all know each other, and there's a possibility, if anybody even cares about this, in all of our clothing, almost every company that makes our clothes, we have 5 companies. They're all competing. They all hate each other.
Right.
Like, for them, it's so funny. I have so many DMs from people that are like, we could do better product, and it's like, no, I don't care, man. So,
yeah, I'm sure it's super cutthroat because
it's insane.
What the hell else is going to happen?
It's a nightmare, but
I don't know. I think your theory is correct though. I mean, Super 7 is garbage.
Whoa.
That's subjective. Some stuff,
most stuff. So
say it to his face.
I'm giving Super 7. I gave Super 7 $220. I believe my source, and I trust my source when he said he told me all the stuff that was going to happen before it happened. I was really glad for the double joints on the. And again, Steven, you don't care about joints. It can be a statue. You do not care. So stop telling me
Steven's never bent a knee in his life.
In his life. So to you, that kind of stuff does not matter.
Steven only bends the knee to the wife. I'm sorry. Yes, my lady.
A lot of us do.
We all do. I mean, who am I joking? I just had to.
Not me, baby.
A lot of us do. But so that's a big deal for me. And I gave him my money, and I said, okay, I think up to this point I've had one Super 7 figure, which is that Surfer Mike, and it's like a cool looking figure. It was fun, but like it's cool, whatever.
It's a statue.
2003 is the best version of the Ninja Turtles. We can debate that for the next 5 minutes because it's not a debate at all. I gave him my money. I'm really excited. Do not let me down. I might even change my famous name to 1987_2000 2K3 if they're good.
How would they let you down? Like what? Where's it?
Loose.
No, I mean, like in your eyes,
loose joints. Gary, loose joints or something breaking, right? Because I mean, I know people always say, "Well, my NECA stuff." Like, I haven't had a figure break.
I've never had any Super 7 stuff break. I've had some of the earlier waves had loose joints, but
like I've had like weird things, you know, like I think the gun on what's his face, Muckman, like broke, but I'm just like, okay, whatever, it's a toy. Like,
the gun that came with you're saying with the NECA Muckman with like the super thin, the hard
thing like broke.
Yeah, like I've actually brought that up to them. Like, why don't you guys use the more malleable plastic? That's just goofy. I even broke that shit out of the box.
Movie Leo, I think one of the swords broke. So then when I got the farm pack, there was an extra sword in there. Boom, issue solved. But do not break on me. I don't want to, don't be too loose, too tight. Like I want the joint. Like, again, I have an expectation of what good is, and it's like give me a NECA solid product, meaning get the joints right, pose a bit like their look. I really like the look. And again, like you said, that stuff is like subjective. Double joints, humongous. And that's that. Don't let me down. If it's great, I'm all in on 2003.
If it's anything like the stuff they're putting out now, which Cody knows, because Steven, you don't do Super 7 anything, right?
I don't buy garbage.
So Cody knows. Cody, you've been through
Wait. He doesn't buy garbage. Wait. Oh, this is perfect. It's on a tee for me. It's on a tee. It's on a tee. Hey, Steven, do you own any Last Ronin figures from NECA?
No, I just don't collect that line.
It's because it's garbage, yeah?
No. It's not garbage. I just don't like to see. I don't like that line because I don't want to see my beloved brothers die.
Then just don't buy. First of all, Raphael.
Yeah,
you just don't buy one figure.
Yeah. Well, I do have a
Last
Ronin figure over there, right there. See Ronin? I have one. So
no, what I was saying was Cody's been through the trials and tribulations of Super 7. Like you. The loose legs of like Series 1 to what you've got now with Rocker Leo. I'm assuming you had like Series 1 stuff, right?
Yeah, I have Series 1 stuff. The worst was Samurai Leo. He has the worst legs. Though he still stands. It's just like you can't put him in certain poses because the hips don't hold it. I would say the later Super 7 stuff, they've improved the looseness. Wingnut, because Wingnut and Screw Loose, they're just so damn big. I don't think the joints are quite tight enough, so those can get a little loose, but they're not like wiggly loose.
Right.
So I don't have any, and like the latest wave has been rock solid, so I don't have any fears about their looseness. To me, Super 7's worth it, but that's another. It's kind of like a Mezco area where, like, personally, like, because they're $55 now. Like, that's a high price, and when you're used to buying NECA, it's a hard pill to swallow. So, and it's hard to quantify outside of like production run and like the way they're selling them to subsidize cost is going to be different. So the cost isn't going to be equal. But if you're just looking like 1-to-1, I spend 36 on this. Why is this 55? It's hard. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's hard to like quantify it. But like Super 7 isn't like Mezco better in terms, but then Mezco's also like still double the price of Super 7, so it all gets kind of wonky. But it is interesting Steven doesn't get the Ronin line.
You know what? I think the rest of this time we need to dissect this mental illness that about the Last Ronin. Him being a Turtle fan. This is absolutely inexcusable. Imagine him going up to Kevin Eastman and he shakes his hand. Kevin, thank you. And he goes, so what you think of Last Ronin? Well, something about death, something. I don't want it to.
I bet that's very common, actually, honestly.
They're dead, Steven. Whether you read it or not, they're dead.
Yeah. But hey, they're still coming out with new episodes. Mutant Mayhem there.
That's a different. It's a multiverse.
Right.
I know.
But
that's what keeps me warm at night, knowing that it's a multiverse.
Yeah, I will agree. I would say like I feel I'm a little biased because of like how close to home Last Ronin is for me, but I think the Last Ronin line, that's the other thing, like with Steven. Remember, they're not picking on Steven episode, but Steven collects like a lot of the Toon stuff because I know he loves the Toon stuff. But when it comes down to like, let's see the quality of what NECA can put out when it comes to Turtles, it's the Last Ronin. With the exception of the under the Donatello's arms that Jay knows what I'm talking about. You got to cut it a little bit to get some posability. Yeah.
Same and with the Karai figure. The Karai figure is no good.
I bought a second one just for shits and giggles because the first one was like meh, and I still am not impressed.
So those figures,
the Turtles, though,
as much as I love those figures, they really are flawed. Obviously the so it's like we take something like the Senja, right? It's like no double elbows, but they have everything else. And then we go to the foot bots, no double knees. It's just like something is removed out of, like the Turtles, like that figure right there, like the Ronin figure's dope. But man, he's a brick. Like it is really hard to do stuff with it.
Yeah.
It's like
it'd be interesting if they redid the Ronin figure with their newer mentality for the Ronin turtles.
That would be interesting. Man. But like so something like so we talked about like the last Ronin Leo. Like I want to be able to do a 2-hand sword grab. Like that's
I definitely agree.
Like
it's tough. It's tough to get that. It's tough to stay on model and then still get the mobility.
Yeah,
I agree.
These are the reasons why I like statues.
Oh, because you don't have to worry about all these things?
Yeah.
So sell all of your accessory packs. They are worthless.
Say what you will about Best Action, but Best Action can do a double grip.
Yeah.
This is Jenica, but
that's pretty good.
I'll prefer that over.
I mean, but then again, you're like, well, okay.
Yeah, the joints may be abysmal to look at, but if you get them in the right angle, this is something that I hear. Robo, I don't want to say his real name. Robo says this a lot. He used to be part of the Foosh. Now it's Robo. Don't know. If it's on your shelf and you're not looking at it, like if you have it in a pose, like does it really matter? This is for people like that just pose them and leave them. Does it really matter? And that's what Loyal Subjects is good for. That's what my Loyal Subjects are on my shelf. They are posed, and I don't see, however I have them posed, you don't see the imperfections of the joints.
Yeah. And I will say one more thing on the last Ronin Turtles. So some of the joints are a little Best Action-y. Like the knees and the elbows, there's like a little bit of a like, whoa, like that's a big gap. It's not quite as that. But
yeah, Best Action is definitely the worst offender, but a lot of other companies have quite similar joints that they get a pass for, if we're being honest, which always makes me laugh. But
yeah, they need to fix that because they got great designs they're working with, great sculptors, but it's like the sculptors don't design like they make like a T-pose figure, and then they just cut instead of like putting the
because they literally just like we need the joint here, just cut it open. It's like,
like I hate that. I feel like I don't want to say anything negative just because they're friends of ours, but I feel like that's how the nacelle, like the biker mice are too. Biker mice are kind of like that too, a little bit. Not as bad, but
I really like.
Don't send me them, please.
I really like those figures. No, man,
I can't wait for the Moo Mesa figures.
Moo Mesa looks, dude. I saw them at San Diego, and they're incredible.
The amount, like, I forget the lady's name, but like the cow lady, the amount of accessories she comes with for $36 is bananas. Like that's some crazy stuff.
And this is the whole point of the episode of value prop. Like, Jay, do you have the biker mice figures? Were you looking at? Did you get those?
Yeah. Remember, I was one of those. I was one of those lucky people that ordered one, and I got all of them.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So, what I will say about those is, for the price of those, whatever company they're using for those, keep doing it. Holy shit, the plastic quality, like when Cody was talking about like the joints on Mezco and like it's kind of buttery smooth and it just works and it feels good. And like that's how those biker mice figures are for like $36 fucking dollars.
Really nice, really nice.
Holy shit, they're just as they're better, although I think they're still good, but they're better than the new premium DNA Earthworm Jim figures when it comes to like that premium plastic feel. Only one I've got like right here is everybody's gonna laugh if they even know, but the one leg Battletoad. But like this is the same idea. Like it's this plastic right here for the price that you're getting. This insane quality for what you're paying.
Yeah, it's true. Look, I modded I'm an action figure modder, folks. Like I cut the middle thing.
Atta boy.
Still not a ton of range and it looks goofy, but I don't understand why they were like, let's do a plastic thing that eliminates the abs completely.
Yeah, I got a couple coming. I'm probably gonna mod it and see if I can mess with them as well.
Oh my god! Look at this.
He
this
goes
is
back
the most...
a ton, but he doesn't go forward. No, he broke. I'm just kidding.
That is the most time. So I think Cody right now has surpassed the time Steven has touched a toy. Like that 45 seconds, that is probably longer than Steven has toy.
Yeah, I tried taking pictures once. It didn't twice. It didn't come up very
We tried to give you feedback, and you're just like,
that, and I'm not very good.
No, taking pictures is hard. Like taking pictures, like it requires like, because I do pictures usually for like the end of videos or thumbnails or whatever, and you're like, I'm gonna take a quick few pictures. You spend the hour to get pictures you barely even like, and you're like, fuck this.
Yeah,
fuck pictures.
Welcome to my life now.
Yeah.
Jay knows. I bitch to Jay all the time. I feel like the only time I text Jay now is I'm just like crying about like I'm so tired. I have no ambition. I don't want to take any fucking shots. Like I will spend like an hour setting up a shot, and then as soon as I put my phone in the place, it falls, and I'm like, cool. Because like I'm super stubborn. I have a rule when I do most of my shots, and it's a rule because I like the core creativity, and it's a rule because it's also I'm lazy as fuck. Is that I don't like to, when I do my shots, I don't like to use stands. I don't like to have to go in and edit anything out, edit any like things that are keeping figures in the air. Like if I'm going to do a shot of something actiony, it's got to be raw. I don't like having things. So like any of my shots, things are like fucking balanced on like wood planks with like sticky tack shoved up their ass. And they're like, there's a 99% chance it's going to fall by the time I take my shot. And it's just me just constantly like just taking shots. And like, if you look at like this one of like, it was like a kicking challenge with Jay with like this Donatello, that bitch, I have so many blurry photos of that bitch just falling. And there's like 40 shots of him falling. And one of them, he's just right. And it's like, man, like it just gets so frustrating. And I do this shit at like 10 o'clock at night, which I go to bed at 10 o'clock at night because there's no other time I feel like doing it. And then like telling myself I don't have to go to bed. And then I want to fucking do anything. I just did a shot the other day. I finally touched my Bebop or my Toka and Razar Soto figures that I put up 2 years ago. They've been touched twice. When I bought them and put them on my shelf, and then when I moved and put them on my shelf again. I just did photos with them the other day. And they're sitting on my floor because I just don't want to put them back up because that's the other thing. Is if I want to take a photo of some of my figures, I got to take them off the display, then putting them back up. I'm going to knock something down. Last time I did it, Professor Perry fell, lost his glasses, foot fucking broke off. So it's like a whole thing for me to just take one goddamn photo, and that's why I started buying doubles. And then I talked to Jay about my problem. I don't buy doubles anymore.
You just have too many things. No, I'm not kidding. You have like too many things. So for you, like taking one figure and looking for something is like too much of a. It's like too much. So I'll address all of this stuff going forward. Steven, you didn't listen to anything we said, and you wanted the first picture to be the greatest toy photo that everyone has ever taken. And you do not understand the process of you need to work your way up to knowing how to do this stuff. I said, shoot them from the waist up and just over your head. And you're like, no. I want to have this guy kicking this guy. I want to have this guy on the floor. I'm like, you already lost. You're already lost.
I want to run before I can walk.
Honestly, it's coming to the point where
Jay, let me interrupt. While Jay's talking, I'm gonna like do some photos that I've done, right, and some that Jay have done. I'm gonna show you like one of my proudest photos, and then I'm gonna scroll down while we're all doing a little chat. I'm gonna show you where I fucking started, which is very close to where you were, Steven, and like taking these things into consideration, and where Jay was comparative to where he is now, which Jay surpassed me at this point because he's got way more skills than I do, it seems. But continue, Jay.
So it's definitely a patience thing. It's definitely a patience thing. It's taken me like 2 years to get to this point, and it's literally just kind of like I'm learning without even knowing that I'm learning. It's that thing where like, when you look back, that's how you know like you got better. So I remember like at first I didn't care about lighting. I didn't care about someone kicking. It was just like, what funny thing can I do? Oh, this guy's talking to this guy and he's eating a pizza, like simple stuff like that. And then it kind of, you just kind of over time get better. But
okay, but when you talked to Brandon, right? He gave you tips and tricks. How did you take that?
Didn't take it at all. I was just like, okay, cool. And it's like I kind of just leveled up to that point on my own because it's like I couldn't do his action shots. Like I couldn't even come close to that.
I can't. I've tried.
But it was just like, okay.
It's also not my style.
One day I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to do action shots because I got bored of doing the same type of shot every single time. I'm like, well, this guy's going to make a snarky comment or he's going to have a funny face or it's going to be something sarcastic. I'm like, okay, let me try to add a little. It was almost like, again, just I hate to say I'm artistic, but it's, you want to challenge yourself to do something different over time. Again, it's been 2 years. I'm like, okay, how much cutesy shit can I do? Okay, the baby turtles are on the refrigerator. Oh my God, they're on top of the layer. Oh my God, one's chasing a mouse, one's chasing a pizza. Oh, a pizza's on the ground. The pizza's stolen. The pizza's here. I'm like, okay, I want to do something because I'm getting bored with my stuff. And if I'm getting bored with my stuff, somebody looking at it is going to get bored.
True. Yeah. And the best way to learn is honestly like make something and post it. As soon as you post it, you'll know everything you want to change because you'll be like, oh, I see it now. Fucking hate this. God damn it. It's like
I finally scrolled far enough to start looking at some of my older shots. This is a long time ago. But
that Chrome Dome is so big. Jesus.
But I was like, I want to do some cool action shot. But look how fucking boring it is. It's just a straight shot. I should have
but I get the scene though. I get it.
That is like that is an example of, so when people say, oh my God, how do my look like toys versus, like something cinematic? It's because you're shooting them like toys. Like, I mean, this is one of the first things you told me, bro, you got to get in closer. Either the camera got to go lower or to the side. It's like you're shooting them like you're, and then like that angle, that top down. Like this. So look how much better this is.
Punched in. All I do is punched in. But like, even this is a bad photo. This is me trying to get angles, and like, not everything's gonna be good. Like some photos just don't work. That's just how it is. It's the ideas aren't always perfect. Like I was so proud of this shot when I did it.
I actually really like this one.
I don't.
Yeah, it's a cool shot.
Love this pose. I love this pose, but there's no feeling. There's no feeling of him pushing him down.
How would you remake it? How would you redo it today?
I would melt the hand. I would remold the hand to be more flat, to actually be on him, because he's just hitting him with the tips. There's no power. The whole idea was he was supposed to be pushing him down and punching him, but it just didn't work. And those are the small little things. Like, I'm not expecting you to fucking melt hands, but I'm just saying, like, they're like these little things, like even poses, like just basic punch in. This was just going outside and throwing it on a camera. So, but like, they're not all great. Like, was this Oscar? Oscar did this one. That's just Oscar. I thought that was like a photo I did, but I'm just scrolling through really old photos here. I remember, I was so proud of this one with different because I punched in, but it's just not a good concept. It's just not a good photo. So that's why we always say, like, you gotta like change it up. Like, even if you want to come up, this was the first time I ever came up on a photo where I shot down. And this was one of my earlier like wins.
This is a good photo, right? This is a good photo.
So like, there's a lot of just weird ones in here. So yeah, that was kind of what he was talking about. I remember this one. This one's very fun too. Just like
this one like inspired me to do some.
That one was really fun.
Yeah.
Like even this one, like bad angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get the concept. I like it.
The concept is really cool. Yeah, but like, they're not all wins. Even this one wasn't a win. This should have been a win. Just didn't do it right.
I like this one.
So that's what Jay was talking about. And like, this is a win. You punch in.
Really good.
Look at Casey right there. But while we're continuing the conversation, I want to be fair. I wanted to bring Jay's stuff up because when Jay and I met, we did our first podcast together, and that we talked about that stuff, like what really makes it better. And it's just like, you can't expect everything to be a win. And then sometimes you just got to keep going all over the goddamn place. Like, like, look at this shit from Jay. What is this? What is this? Look at this.
Just got to do it anyways.
He's got some little action.
Can I just say, I think taking pictures and posing slash effects, I love slash effects, but it's so fucking hard to use them in a convincing way.
Yeah, I do
The hardest
agree with
shit
that.
ever.
Jay does these fun little effects that really bring it in.
That one's really good.
All right, so this is a friendly argument.
That's a Mezco Chuck, by the way. That's Mezco value that made
mixed.
All right, so Jay, why do you use so much smoke in your pictures?
Ambience, dude.
Can we please explain atmosphere to this guy? And sometimes, smoke, like you do that to convey atmosphere. Sometimes you just do it because it freaking looks cool and you want to do it, and other times you don't.
I'm sure it also helps like scatter the light in different ways. And
absolutely, man.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes I just like the crisp, clear shot.
I
can
think
understand like if it's a fire, sure, bring the smoke. But if it's
that's the hard part with toy photography, I think, because you have to do like what you want to accomplish with it, like because there's like product shots, there's this to like show off that it's a figure. There's also where it's like you want people to be drawn into like this is just a scene of like this turtle guy doing this and forget it's a figure. So like there's a ton of different ways you can approach your pictures.
So there's definitely like a time and a place for, just kind of like clean. So sometimes like when I like use smoke, it's like, so sometimes it's like atmosphere. Other times where it's like people have ran on the ground, like there's action, there's movement there, right? So it's like dust is kicking up, like that kind of stuff. Other times it's blowing in the background, and it's just it just freaking looks cool. But it's I'm not gonna add smoke if there's two turtles in a thing just talking like that. Doesn't make sense. And I rarely will do like it's rare where it's just like one person. I'm not like really fan of that kind of stuff where it's just like one figure and it's like whatever. But yeah, I mean, I do it because it's the same thing as like, well, why did you choose the warm lighting instead of like cool lighting, or why is this more saturated than other times? It's like because I just want it like that, and it's just what I chose. Like it could be whatever you want it to be, but this is like what I wanted to do. I don't really have a explanation for that.
Yeah, but see where Jay was. This is right when we met Jay. This is about that same time, right?
Yeah,
it's like January, February is when we started talking about toy photos. Like this is the straight shot. People, they're just kind of straight legged. You'll see on a lot of them. There's this it's just making a scene, and like that's good for collections. But like when you're doing photos, it's not. It's like it takes the build up. You saw where he is now, and now you see like that's just where this is for everybody, not just you, Steven. Like a lot of people take these shots, and like for this one, like Jay now would be like, I don't need to get Metalhead in here. I'm gonna put the camera behind Zach, and like he's gonna be super blurry, and like we're gonna focus on Michelangelo, and we don't care about Casey Jones in the background. He'll be there, but he'll be a piece of the puzzle. You have to hit a focus point for a photo, and that's the focus of what you're trying to caption. You can do like all four turtles beating the shit out of Shredder, but like you want to focus on Leonardo beating the shit out of Shredder, and then the other turtles are just ambient in the background.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's really, really hard to tell some of that because they're like, no, I want everyone in focus, but the picture doesn't work, man.
That's exactly where I was.
No, no, it does. That's not how it works. Like if you watch a movie,
even you can't focus on all those things like literally with the camera. It just doesn't.
But the thing is, even if you try, it just does not look right. Like watch a movie. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to see like four of them fighting, but not everyone's in focus. And you don't notice it because the scenes are, moving all the time. But if you freeze frame, there's like, okay, what's in focus? Donatello's on the chair. He's holding the can of ooze. And, Leo's just kind of standing there. You don't see him in focus. And there's like 10 foot behind him. And there's maybe one in focus, like with his hand out.
Yeah, on so many of my photos, people like I always love showing Jay the behind the scenes of I pretty much Jay gets to see all like the behind the scenes of mine. I've got full fucking setups, and then like I feel like 30% of the figures aren't even in the goddamn photo I end up taking. They're just there, like they're not even in the final photo. They're fully cut out. This is one thing while we're talking about photos. This is fun. I haven't said anything to Jay about this, but there's one. You know, there's always this one thing that you just don't like seeing. I guess I don't really know where I'm going with this. There's one fucking thing in photos that people do and it pisses me off. I hate it. And in my opinion, it ruins photos. So this is encouraging people out there to maybe change this, not change the photo or the attempt, but make the accessory. You ready? I don't think anyone knows where I'm going with this. The fucking bandana. The bandana, how it only just kind of goes around. Like that bandana should be back. We need to have like new bandana sculpts that are going blowing back, or like instead of like, because that just hooks. And it looks like to me that the bandana is going forward, but he's going to the side, and it ruins the motion for me. And it's not just this photo with like that Jay took it. I just saw it while I was scrolling, and I see so many people move it.
Steven is having a heart attack because of the smoke. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? It needs to be clear. There should be no smoke, bro.
You ever been to New York City, Steven? There's a lot of smoke.
Yeah, there really is.
So you know what's funny? If you actually go back to that photo,
that one needs Leo. Go back to the mountain.
You know what inspired this photo? You know when in movies there's those like dream sequences and there's like it's all foggy and smoky? That's exactly like what inspired this photo. But God forbid Steven have that much like artistic vision to realize that.
All right, go back to the Mousers one with Leo. Go up. Right there.
Why is there smoke here, Steven?
Yeah, there doesn't need to be.
Because they broke into the layer.
That's concrete.
Walls.
That's dusty concrete.
It's too much. If it was a little less, I can understand. But this is like overtaking the picture.
I don't think.
What do you think?
Okay, no, I don't think it's the dust that's bothering you, Steven. It's that the Mousers. So, in my opinion, if I was to criticize this, the Mousers are too out of focus for how far away from the lens they are. I think that's what you're having a problem with. If this picture was punched in a little more, which it shouldn't be because that's not the composition that this needs to be, I think it's because the Mousers might be a little bit too out of focus, and you think that the smoke is taken away from that and blurring them. I think that's what it is, because the smoke right here is perfect.
No, I disagree. Cody, what do you think? Honestly, your honest opinion here. You've been quiet.
Maybe a little too smoky, like if we're going for like dust, but I think Gary's probably right about like the Mouser focus is probably the true you're reading the Mouser focus as additional smoke when it's just like out of focus and gets smoky. But I love this shot though.
I love the shot too.
Yeah.
I love that with the matte turtles, the color, because Jay, you're shooting on a real camera now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Jay shoots on a real camera. And that's why you're
not
seeing
a
his
fake
pictures.
Phone camera, people.
Fucking insane. Yeah. See, like this one right here that I was talking about. Like, I don't, there's something that fucking gets me about this goddamn bandana. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make custom bandanas that go back.
Okay. Why does there need to be a smoke here?
Because they're in New York City.
I'm not trying to,
there's always smoke in New York City.
So Steven, I wanted to do it.
I get it.
That's also like exhaust from the.
So you see how there's like these bluish like hues that are like on the right side of the photo.
Okay.
I just thought that shit looks cool. It's a lot more interesting than just this clear photo.
I think smoke in any kind of photo, specifically all like a realistic photo, like we're using the movie Turtles. I personally think that smoke should always be used greatly, because like let's pull up Sergeant Bananas, right?
I have sent Steven Sergeant Bananas, and of course he's just like, oh, so look, the first two photos have smoke or some kind. I have no go to the next photo.
But look at the shot. Look at the behind the scenes, like
crazy. Go to the right there.
That's
why
not
do that? I understand that. I get it.
Why do you understand it? Why is it there?
Because the sunbeams are coming in here, and it's just like, it looks natural to me. That looks natural.
Okay.
Right, it's natural.
Same here.
Yeah.
But this is also devil's advocate. This is canned atmosphere, though, right?
Yes.
I have no idea what that means, but okay.
It's literally a can that's just an aerosol can that sprays atmosphere. And then you can see it through. Funny enough, I thought I had one near me. All I have is the cap. So But it comes in this like hairspray.
It's right here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's canned atmosphere. He used that a lot, but no smoke. Like, I mean, he's got really moody photos, but like I think it's perfect. Even on this, he probably did it in the background of this thing.
Yeah, for sure. He 100% did.
He's just a madman, though.
He's the GOAT.
He needs to be stopped.
The GOAT.
Who's the GOAT?
He's the GOAT.
Sergeant Bananas. He needs to be stopped. I use a lot of smoke too. Like in this one, I use a lot of smoke too. Like this one, I just use yeah, this one I did. See in the background here? See how that was lit up? I sprayed it in the back there.
Yep, I see it.
If I had my way, I would have had incense burning and had the smoke across the bottom here. But I just did not.
Gary, go to your Casey photo that you just recently did.
That one?
See, I like this a lot. Like, to me, this looks like this should be on Mezco's front box.
It's really nice.
Well, thank you. But there was atmosphere in this one too, but my fan blew it away and I was tired of shooting. I got a lot of shots of this.
Yeah, I was gonna say some smokiness wouldn't hurt that picture.
No,
definitely not.
God forbid. Got a lot in it too.
God forbid.
So, the background of this one's all smoke.
Oh, look at that. Why is that there? Just why? Why can't it just be clear?
I agree with Jay on that.
Here's a spot where I ruined it. Too much.
You know what you should do? You should, when you're taking pictures with friends, you should add smoke to it just for fun. Like you should spray the aerosol.
Oh, this is the photo I was talking about with Jay with the kicking shot, where I just had a thing and I tried to mask it with this is just like like the fake snow that you buy, like the squishy like cushiony shit. Yeah. I covered up the rod that's stuck up his ass. Yeah, that was the recolor of it. I actually went back in there, recolored it bright green because he's actually this color, and I went and I just redid him a different color green. But yeah, that one was annoying as shit. But yeah, this is when I was doing. So this is see how this is like all nice and smoky.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, you know what that is? That's an air duster can sprayed upside down.
Interesting.
That you're not supposed to inhale. So those are some dangerous shots.
I get it. But see, the smoke that didn't need to be there. It's like
it definitely did.
Okay.
Always
some kind of conflict. Something happened. There was motion there.
Yeah.
Dust is kicking up.
Speaking of our conversation earlier, at least this Casey Jones can two-hand a fucking bat, unlike the Ronin Leo.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a fun little conversation about smoke. I'm just going through and seeing if there's any too much smoke in this one.
Fun little conversation. Hey, so Codeman, so why did you guys have any like topics in mind for Cody and I, or
no, just really well
shooting the shit.
I did jump in. The whole idea was I wanted to talk about the value prop because we always try to we always bounce around on tons of different subjects, and we just seem like a news show sometimes. So today I wanted to, when I'm feeling a little spicy and I feel like the content can be better with us having good actual conversations, I try to lean in on that. But I think so far, like with us talking about photos was really sick. So, I mean, everybody knows I say this like 1,000 goddamn times a week now. Like I'm so burnt out through work that I don't even think about the podcast. Literally, Steven asked me last night, like, yo, podcast with Cody and Jay last night. And like, mind you, I was watching when he texted me, I was literally 10 feet from Rob Zombie. And I was like, I'm not texting this motherfucker back right now. But I was very tired. But anyway, I don't know. Like,
there's also not been a ton of news. We're in a lull period relatively, which is odd because they're releasing a ton of figures, but it's like not like new stuff. It's like hit the presses.
Yeah,
right.
See, there it is. There's some Rob Zombie last night.
Super sick. Man.
I was impressed by how like limber and like because he's got to be like 80 years old now, right?
He's 59.
Like he's still got it. He's jumping around like a young man.
Yeah. So is Alice Cooper. He's 76.
Yeah.
So,
have you guys seen? This is totally off topic, but it's like I think it's Frankie Valli in concert.
Dude, what's really funny is I was with people last night, and thank you for saying that. The dude's like, "What's your phone number? You got to see this Frankie Valli video." And he texted it to me. I haven't watched it yet, but it's straight up in my phone. The only text message from this guy that I have to watch. So it's really funny.
That's a trip. Yeah. When you see it, you'll just be like,
"Yeah, I know."
I desperately want to know the story that's going on.
I gotta check it out.
Does he?
I know Jay just stepped away, but I guess we'll just talk about this since we guys I don't pull you guys when I'm here, at least. We have 4 months left in the year, pretty much, right?
Yep. Where's Giant Crane? Sorry.
Not here yet. So when it comes down to all figures, it doesn't have to be Turtles related. Is there anything that's top of mind that you're like, I can't wait for it to drop this year?
Giant Crane.
No, fuck you. I know you want Giant.
Can't wait for it to drop this year. Heat Boys Donnie. I hope it drops this year. It is super sick.
That rounds out the line, right?
For the Turtles, they're doing more. There's way more.
That rounds out the Turtles. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Then they're done with that. I mean, third party Mikey should be dropping this year.
Yeah, that's gonna be soon.
Maybe the Joy Toy Turtles.
Those are definitely this year. Yeah,
because it's weird because like they gave a lot of rough dates. Like a lot of listings said like August, which clearly, so it's hard to know if they were just like they winged off a date or whatever. But I think those are super sick.
Yeah, I will interject. I didn't order them. I'm going to wait for them. I'm going to wait for people to get them in hand, and then I'm going to AliExpress them.
Good idea.
I need to crack open my Warhammer figure still.
I sent you my Warhammer Joy Toy that I got.
I couldn't remember. Like, were you trying to get that figure, or like you got bamboozled with that?
I got bamboozled. Like no, like I wanted to try Joy Toy out because I heard great things. I was on AliExpress, and every once in a while I order random shit off Ali just for fun, to see what I get. Like I got the Bloodborne bootleg Figma, and I just got like a fucking little like Black Series Wicket from Star Wars, just little things here and there that are super cheap. And I paid like $17 or $18 for this Red Death Angel, I think it was, Warhammer 40K Joy Toy, and I get it, and it's a fucking unarticulated poly resin broken. It looked like someone just took fucking Play-Doh and just built this thing and threw it in a package, and it was awful. I wish I could pull a photo of it, but it's from months ago. I just happened to I looked for it to send to Cody. Oh my god, it's so bad. It is putrid. And
I just did a video on AliExpress bootlegs. I would say if you're buying anything under $20,
I'm just gonna eat because I haven't eaten since like 2:00, but I'm here. And
unless it's the only exception is Earthworm Jim figures. Those are the only ones that dip below 20 and are still good.
Yeah.
But anything else, if you're paying below 20, you're getting bamboozled.
Yeah, you're in a rough spot. If you're you'll save some money on retail, like with NECA stuff, but sometimes.
Yeah, you can. But man, I miss the heydays. Do you remember when like you could get NECA stuff like 2 months early, like the Universal Monster stuff?
Yes.
You could get like 2 months early, $10 off.
But then they got in trouble.
Whatever happened, like go back to being the Wild West. Let that shit out.
Yeah, right. Like who were they? Like this is the funny shit. Like who do they think they were like bamboozling with? Like just cut paste, like rubber stamp tooling the logo out. Like no one knew what the hell it was. We all know what it still is.
I would assume they were trying to like auto software, like scanning software that can like pick that stuff up.
Didn't work.
Yeah, but who did they get in trouble by, NECA? I mean,
there's AliExpress is like not so. AliExpress is owned by Alibaba, and like it's legit. Like it's a real fucking business. So they probably do have rules and regulations. And it's just like eBay. eBay, you can't sell digital codes, but people still sell digital codes on there. They try to like they press their luck until they get caught. That's probably just what happened.
Because that's why like you pre-order from AliExpress just like anything else. Which there's always been a lot of shops that do stuff like that, but like specifically like NECA. Now you only get NECA stuff when it's like you can see like once I see people start getting stuff at Target, I'm like, oh, no, there's an AliExpress listing right now. I can promise
exactly.
you.
Yeah, they're even using like for like the fucking
Yeah.
the Slash. They're using San Diego Comic-Con photos, or they're using photos that they're using other people's photos when the shit's dropping. So funny.
Are you familiar with Plastic Flashback?
Yeah, of course.
There's a lot of AliExpress sellers that have taken screenshots of his videos, and I've showed him like, hey, there's your stuff.
It's so funny. Yeah, that shit, that is so funny. But yeah, I'm just gonna jump in. I'll give you mine, then we'll see what Steven. So my number one figure this year that I'm waiting on, I think it comes out this year, is the Pandaren Monk. That's it's not even Ninja Turtles. It's that Pandaren Monk that's coming through like Fury Toys or something like that from World of Warcraft with the full soft goods.
Speaking of, so I thought I overheard something, but I didn't. Just so you guys know, Gary trashes PlayStation, but he always plays his PlayStation, including the new Wukong game.
I haven't played it in a week and a half.
He is probably going to buy Astrobot, which looks to be the game of the year. Cody, I'm sorry. I've told you this many years ago. You need to dump the Xbox because there is no games. And whatever games they do have, there are PlayStation games.
Next, Gary,
when you're like me and you play like one game every 3 months, maybe there's way too many goddamn games. Like I have no business buying another game, no matter what system it's on. Like,
yeah, you're right. And that's why the PlayStation is good for you. You play one banger every 3-4 months, and you finish like 4 games a year, and you're done.
So does anybody even give a shit why I don't like PlayStation? Like, do you want to know the real story?
Sure, tell it.
There's literally a fly flying around the room, by the way, and it's pissing me the fuck off. One fly. So the reason I don't like PlayStation is I worked at GameStop. I started working at GameStop in 2004, and I worked there in 2010. And we used to get internal documents about PlayStation. They're like things that you'd want to talk about or like, things not to say or whatever. And PlayStation is the fucking scummiest goddamn company on the goddamn planet next to Nintendo, where they fucking lie out their goddamn teeth. PlayStation is the Donald Trump of video games. And it's like I just feel so fucking dirty whenever I play it because I feel like I'm supporting like that's what it is. It's like I remember like very, very fondly. There was a thing, and you guys probably remember, PlayStation 3 comes out, you get the 6-axis controller, and they're like, oh, well, the rumble doesn't work. It didn't rumble with the tilt controls because it's the rumble screws up the tilt controls. And then Nintendo, the same goddamn month, drops the Wii, and it's got rumble and tilt controls, and it's a fucking IR pointer. And everybody's like, then how can this do it? Right? And it turned out that Sony stole the rumble technology. The DualShock was stolen technology that they didn't pay the licensing for. And they got sued out the ass during the PS2 era, and they refused to fucking settle it. And that's why the DualShock 3 ended up coming out later on, because they finally bought the fucking technology. And like those are just one of the, and then like PS2, they made the PS2s knowing the PS2 had a bad laser, and they knew that people would still buy them because they were a pretty solid brand. That's why they started off on blue disc. Then they went to DVD, and DVDs were okay, but then they went to dual layer DVD, which were yellowish gold discs like God of War 2, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And if you remember, you might not know, but like PS2 was like the best selling console of all time because people had to buy multiple ones because Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was so popular and it was breaking systems. So everybody would have to buy a new fucking PlayStation 2 to play the goddamn San Andreas game because the dual layer DVDs were killing lasers.
That's the way to make money. Really?
And long story short, it's the best console on the market, and it has been for the last 20 years. And
if you sit in
the
your room,
value proposition, is it
$250
better than a Switch?
No. If you sit in your room and hotbox farts, you're a PlayStation player. Like that's your thing. I'm sorry. I mean, there's my Xbox that you can't see due to contrast, and then my Switch, and then my PlayStation. And my PlayStation's actually turned off because I had to swap my breaker the other day when I was getting a hot tub installed, and it turned my PlayStation off, so I haven't even turned it back on. It's still like it's not even on standby. Shit's just off.
You know what's a dangerous game? Doing this company is evil and this company is good. It's almost like saying,
oh, they're all terrible.
That is almost like doing the whole politics thing. Oh, these guys are clearly the bad guys, and then these guys are clearly the good guys. No. No.
I was definitely serious about that up until the last like 2 years of Microsoft and the bullshit they pulled.
Nah, man. All of those corporations are out to make money.
Yeah,
every fucking scummy way.
They just want more money. But
No,
that's why
my favorite
that's why
thing
I'm so adamant
is
against PlayStation.
I see this all the time where people are like, "Oh, now they're just milking us." You're always being milked.
You're always being
milked
milked
from day one.
We see that in the party wagon all the time. It's like when there's a repaint of a NECA figure coming out, like, oh, NECA's just trying to get more money. No shit.
Yeah, like I just like the idea that at some point NECA's just like they're just doing it for the love of the game. They're like, hey, this one, no profit, guys. This one, just do it at cost. Like, that's never fucking happening.
The Super Shredder, right? We got Super Shredder, and then we got Shadow Master Super Shredder, and then we got fucking whatever the other Super Shredder was. And they're like, oh, NECA's just milking us for the fucking thing. It's like, yeah, they spent all that money on the fucking
don't fucking buy it. Like, you don't need 7 shredders.
And you know what?
No, they're not expecting you to buy all 7. You insane person.
But Cody, I'm a completion. Like, oh my god, Cody and I have like the greatest laughs. Cody's like, there is no turtle auditor who comes to your house after every NECA drop and it's like, he's missing the Bunny, Bebop, and Rocksteady. He is not certified. We're taking his
minus 40 cool points. You're not allowed in the community.
Like,
called bragging rights. Come on.
Like right now, you do not know what I have. I photograph like 10 things over and over, and I try to make it. You don't know what the hell I have. I might have sold everything, and I have like 5 figures, or I literally have everything.
I don't even think you know what the hell you have based on your closet. You just stack your shit in there and forget about it.
No, but the one, like honestly, like this wave that just happened, it was the first time maybe ever when I was like, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. I'm not getting into that. And the only reason why I'm saying that is I don't want the problems that Gary has, which is you have too much things where maintaining it is like 3 jobs. I don't want
it. And you start having the dream, you're like, what if I just got rid of fucking everything? I had nothing. Like you rebound over where you're like, I want no collection. I'm done.
So I know it's a weird bring up, but do you see this diorama up here? Do you see why this diorama is like level with my fucking shoulder? That's because there's about 3 feet of plastic bins with accessories organized in it because it's a goddamn job to organize the accessories.
Yeah. Gary,
I also, for that reason, I kind of like when figures have no accessories. Like, fuck the value. I'm like, oh, less shit to store. This is great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, like, that's the thing. Like, I can just put it all in a bin and it's fine. But like when I want to do photos, like, oh, I want Burns open hand. And I'm like, where the fuck is Burns open hand? And because I got to look for the goddamn.
You're doing like the Dewey Decimal System with your fucking hand.
Which I thought was smart by putting all the fucking like white characters' hands in the same goddamn bin together. No, it's not smart at all. It's a nightmare.
Especially because they're all white.
So now I organize via release. So like if it's like the fucking Haulathon 2024 release, everything goes into the same specific bin. And I say bin loosely because they're like individualized bins.
Oh, yeah, like the little drawers.
Good Lord.
Hey, Cody, I know you said you had to go, but what are you guys doing can you talk a little bit about the other podcast you're on and like all the cool stuff you're doing? Obviously,
the Ninja Turtle Power Hour. So this year we're technically covering the 2003 series.
Now we know why
you've been on. Gary is too good to be on.
I've asked.
Like, hey, you let me know whenever works from you. We'll make you on. We went through the new TV show, Mutant Mayhem, whatever the hell that's called.
Tales or whatever. Yeah.
And so now we're bouncing between the 2003 show and the guest era of the Mirage comics, which is basically when Eastman and Laird just said, whoever the fuck wants to make whatever fucking weirdo comic, go for it. Like, I just read Soul's Winter. Not bad, but it's just like, the hell you doing?
That sounds
But yeah, no. It's a fun time. Yeah, everyone's welcome on the cast whenever you can make it.
That's pretty awesome. I really enjoy you guys' podcast, but especially 2003 episodes.
It's interesting.
Actually, you know what? So I didn't listen to the last one because you guys haven't. You guys, I think it was like last week's. You guys covered the 2003, or it might have been the week, but I didn't. You guys took a little hiatus from 2003, but all jokes aside, what are your like thoughts on the show so far?
I think it's really good. I think the weird thing about like when you like you like something when you're whatever age, like 10 years ago, and you have very certain thoughts of it, and then like people don't account for how powerful nostalgia actually is. Like no matter what, like since I watched this show in this certain time, not even as a kid, like as an adult, if I watched a show at this point in your life, you're always gonna love it and have like a connection to it. So when 2003 came out, like I wasn't super actively watching it still. I would catch like an episode here or there. So it's really interesting watching it as an adult. I think it's a good show. I think it's a lot of episodes are hard to watch, and it's just kind of like because you realize you're watching just like a kid's cartoon of its time. So I do think people overhype it a lot because it's all relative, but it's a solid show. I kind of hate the voice acting, which is kind of a huge problem in a cartoon.
Is it the voices or is it like the voice acting? Because I'm gonna say my quick thing. I love the 2003 and I watched it. It's like cringe edgy.
Yeah, there's that because it's very much like we're in the 90s. It's the early 2000s. Like, there's that. There's something like the best example I have is like Casey Jones' voice because it's so like stereotypical. Like, I'm a New Yorker. What are we doing? Let's go harass some women. And then there's Splinter, who they're doing the over the top like, oh, I'm wise in Japanese, and it's like,
oh my god. Like, but you can tell. So the thing is, like that guy. I don't know. I didn't do the research, but I've heard his voices on like all kind of like the Fox Kids. Michelangelo, Donatello, get away from there. Shredder is on his way. We need to train harder. Like it's this this like voice.
It's very like affected. A lot of the voices just don't read as like natural to me. So like that's hard, but it's generally a really solid show. It's certainly up there.
I really love that show. Now I think I might rewatch it for the 50th time. I'm sorry.
So that guy's name is Darren Dunstan, and he's very white and from Ontario, Canada.
Yeah.
So I remember
Giovanni in the musical Pokemon Live.
Yeah, he did stuff for like Sonic X because when I heard him, I was like, oh my god, it's Splinter, but he's not hiding it too well.
Yeah, he did a lot of different Splinters. It seems he did a lot of Pokemon. He voiced Munchlax from Pokemon. That's a good one, Munchlax. He voiced a lot.
Oh! Speaking of 2003, damn, this is actually really cool. So Dave, the TMNT collector, called me one Friday, and I think my wife was like out doing some girly stuff, so I was literally not doing anything. I was home alone, and I got to talk to the guy who voiced Traximus. I talked to him for like 45 minutes. Frederick.
Oh, really?
Frederick. I don't know his last name. He was a really nice man. Really like powerful voice. But he voiced Traximus and he voiced Leatherhead, I think. Both of them.
Interesting.
And he was super, super cool.
That is really cool.
And before Jay joined, when I was telling you about how Dave and I were in the hot tub on Sunday talking about shit, he brought that up to me.
Yeah. Oh, Gary, you have so much things that you're just giving people just entire waves of drops. It's like, hey, Dave, I love you. You're my friend. So here, just take this off.
He forgot to bring stuff. So there's also a Channel 6 news van, the one that I painted that my buddy Jose gave to me. And like, I don't have room for it anymore. So I was going to donate it to his collection. That's the Cowbung and Carl van. I also gave him a $400 Sideshow Collectibles Grogu statue.
The bigger, the better. That's the
Hey, let's just go to Gary's house and just pick stuff off.
If he could have taken more, I would have given him more. I've got like all the fucking the Turtles movie Funko Pop sitting in my office or my closet. I've got so much that I'm just trying to clear out
so
here.
Much stuff, man. You have too much.
I have too much choice.
Too much, man. And Cody has way too much stuff too. Steven.
To be fair, I haven't consolidated stuff down. I'm at the point where I'm folding up boxes, which can I say one thing I hate about NECA before I have to go, and you guys can continue on without me. And I hate about Super 7 too is if these fuckers keep making non-square boxes, right? Because you can't fold a goddamn rhombus. They don't fucking fold. You try to fold them and it's like, you're going to have to crease me. And at that point, I might as well just throw it the fuck away. Make a square goddamn box because you can fold them. You can fold square boxes.
Yeah.
Wait, but NECA makes square boxes. What are we talking about?
No, like the fucking like
or a rectangle. 2-packs. They're a rectangle.
Yeah,
but I mean, here's a square box.
But you can't fold those. Those things because of the dual window. Like a lot of the Mirage stuff, you can't fold. That's also not. That's also an odd shape.
Yeah, it looks very square, but when you try to fold it, you will learn very quickly that's not a fucking square.
Hey Cody, are you keeping boxes now? Is your
I've always kept boxes. That's why I fold the cool ones. I've gone through like the ones I really don't like, I throw away if they're boring. But like I think it's a shame because they put all this artwork and design into the packaging, and people are just like, it's trash. Fuck it. And like I get it. Like some people just aren't into that. But like to me, you're throwing away half the experience. You know, I like having that magic because then you can look back and like. It's not for value for me. Like I'm not thinking like, oh, it's Mitten Box. When I'm 80, it'll be worth thousands. It's like I want to be able to look back and be like, this was the product that was offered. Look at the cool artwork. Look at the design. I like the whole experience as much as you can save it.
So you know what made me like okay, fine. I understand with like a couple of things. Oh my god, you know what made my day? This was in the party wagon. Someone was bitching and complaining about the fact that their box got damaged, and then NECA goes, they crack their knuckles. Here, whoever the fuck you are, this is meant to be thrown away. If the product obviously they didn't say that. If they're like, this is meant to be discarded. It's a fucking box. Get the fuck over it. Your product is fine. Bye.
Yeah,
obviously the email wasn't like that.
I saw a bunch of people. I skimmed the thread and I saw a lot of people complaining like, the customer service is awful and blah blah blah.
God, that was the best.
That is hilarious. That is a hilarious response. But they are having their cake and eating it too, because you don't do like beautiful artwork and be like, we meant it to be trash. Because they might as well just like go to the artist's desk and be like, "Fuck you, man! Your work."
Here's the thing. Here's the thing on that with the SDCC exclusives, they should have came pristine. Everything else, I completely understand.
If they say that,
premium, you're paying a premium.
Has a goddamn lenticular thing on it, like.
But that's the other thing. Did everybody see how they got packed? They got packed in amazing condition. If they didn't arrive amazing, like unfortunately, that's not their problem. Like
no,
they
the box
held up their end of the deal.
In my scenario, the box came fine, no damage to the box, so you knew it was packed like that from NECA's warehouse. So yeah, so it is NECA's fault.
It's tough because I also think like if they have 10 left to send out, are they going to be like, we're not sending yours because the box isn't mint?
Yeah,
and then they're like, you know,
okay. So here's the thing. This is what they should do. Then they should have an option for mint box or OK box, and charge a little cheaper for the OK box.
That's more work.
How about just loose and you get the figure for $15 less? I will sign up for that.
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting.
Oh my god, I will sign up for that 100 out of 100 times. For Steven, it's like, you know what? Just give me the mold. Just give me the mold. Give me the prototype. I don't need any bendable joints. Just the SDCC ones.
Give me the resin 3D print that's glued together, like the 2003 Super 7 figures that people were complaining.
And the box. I'm sorry. Nothing else, bro. That's a $7 toy right there.
We don't want to keep you, Cody. I got something to talk about, but I don't want to keep you. You got a hard.
Please go on. I'll watch it afterwards as a loyal fan. My incredible joy and honor being on with you guys.
Thank you for joining us.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
So what I was gonna say was like in that vein, right? So what Steven said, and like this is in production in the world. It's like let's talk about it. It's the situation is like I experienced the same thing, right? Like I send out boxes to people, and they're like, well, the corner, like our boxes are collectible boxes, and USPS beats them up, and they come sometimes they come broken, right? But like it's a weird situation where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. People bitch that NECA's not fast enough on shipping. So if they took the fucking time to look at these goddamn edges, you know how much longer it's going to be? If you're like, oh, well, it's quick. You just look it over. Yeah, it's that times 3,000 on one product. So like that's going to increase time, which is not efficient, right? Get the product out, deal with the bullshit later. If the bullshit's just somebody being a fucking cocksock, brush it off. And what I mean by that is I recently had to deal with this too. Like I get a lot of dumb fucking emails at work. And like, I'm sorry I don't bring up, some kind of work stuff, but like it kind of works in this general where we sent out shoes to somebody. And when we send out shoes, these are unworn shoes, and we use special like materials. We use leathers and shit like that, right? And not all leather is like perfectly fucking smooth when your foot's not in it. So we sent out these shoes, and I would say they're the Wonka version 2s we did. We only did 25 of them, and whatever. They were purple, crushed velvet, and then purple leather. And the fucking purple leather had like a little bit like a little bit wavy on the side, where your foot's supposed to fill it out. And this person wants a fucking replacement and was like sending me the snarky email like, well, you need to replace this because, I paid this much money for this and, this is unacceptable. And I'm like, you're going to be this fucking picky? Put your foot in it. It'll flatten out. Like, that's the kind of thing. Like, it's like you kind of have to pick and choose your battles. Did I see it when I was shipping it? No, because it's that minuscule. And then with these people in the group that are like showing these photos of like their crushed edges or whatever, a lot of them are like taking close photos. Those shits you can't even see in person most of the time. These people are looking for a reason to complain.
It's so stupid.
And that's why like we had that weird state where people were like, oh, I got my NECA package and everything's absolutely 100% perfect. Like how beautiful it is. Like making fun of those people that like literally like just focus on like that one little thing. And I understand it.
Meant to be discarded.
Yeah.
Like we are only guaranteeing the freaking item.
So when they get their packages, they have them in their boxes. They take them out and they put it in another box and they ship it out. It's like they're not fucking putting them in there. So normally, if someone gets something and like if NECA didn't pack it proper, like they weren't before. Remember, now they're doing it good. Like it's all up to the shipper, and like we have to do the same thing with our job. It's like, well, someone's like, well, this, you shipped this package and it arrived soaked. It's like, cool, USPS left it out in the rain, not my fucking problem.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Like get a fucking porch.
It's almost like they need to have a separate freaking business or a separate line of things. It's like, you want to buy boxes here, just buy boxes.
Yeah,
but this is what we're telling you,
right? And that's the other thing we've talked about all this so many times. People need to get the idea of like companies like Super 7 and NECA and McFarlane's a little bit bigger, but like. I'm trying to think of just other companies. Like they're not Hasbro, they're not Mattel, they're not fucking whoever does like Monster High. They're not these big companies. It's a lot of these the same companies like Hasbro, Mattel, and probably just those two, right? We're in a world where small businesses can put out premium items and be bigger than they actually look. So when it comes down to money, and you're thinking NECA makes all this money. They don't make a lot of money. I know how much their employees are or how much they make. I know what their offices sizes are. And like, you can only afford to have one person respond to customers' complaints or customer emails. And if someone emails you and they've got a fucking 2-centimeter dent on the side of their package, and then you're pissed off with their response, you wasted their time. Your email wasted 3 other customers that are still waiting on their products time, or 3 other people that have real fucking issues time because you have a little goddamn dent in your corner. It's you being selfish because you're unhappy with something not being 100%. It's 99%. And you're being selfish and not thinking about the other people that you're affecting by wasting somebody else's time. That's a small business because you put them on a high pedestal. That's my problem.
That's dumb.
And it's just dumb. And then people like complain about it. Then like that's like stop complaining. Like say something good for once. Like I'm not trying to defend NECA. I've had problems with it. I've had shit broken, and you know they've taken care of it. Because you know why? Because it was an actual problem with the figure, not the box. And I said, hey, if you guys can do anything about it, that'd be great. And I'm not fucking pulling strings. I'm not messaging people. I'm just sending an email and I'm getting a response. And they don't know who the fuck I am. I'm not friends with anybody in customer service except for Blaine. And Blaine just kind of oversees things, he said, to try to like get people going on that. But I don't even know if he's even doing that anymore.
Guess what? I have had absolutely zero problems with NECA, with nothing.
Yeah. I had no problems with Super 7. I shared that video earlier. Super 7 saw my video go viral. Brian Flynn actually commented on that and said, hey, reach out to this person and take care of it. I didn't want to waste anybody's time with it. I was just showing like how bad it was. And then it just happened to go crazy. And then I got to speak with their customer service people and they're very nice, but they're in another situation. It's a small company. These companies are small with big footprints and minuscule problems are going to be ignored.
Just give me the toy, man. Just give me the toy. I understand it's not going to be perfect. Sometimes the joints might be too tight. Sometimes they might be whatever. Like shit's going to happen. Yeah, but I'm reasonable, man.
Yeah, to Steven's like, I don't speak for you, Steven. To your actual reason though, like if you're buying a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive figure and you're paying a little bit more for that because of the exclusivity, it's a special edition, and the package is meant to be collected. They've even said it. Yeah, I definitely understand where that thing should be coming in good condition. But that does not, when I say good condition, like a little tiny dent because that thing was shipped across the fucking states. You have to understand, like, it's not going to come perfect unless you're walking to fucking, not even shipping them to San Diego is going to be perfect. So, like, unless you are getting that shit from the fucking boat, from the goddamn factory, like, you have to be understanding that there's going to be a problem. There's a possibility of there being a small dent. And the ones that I see are not worth it. If it's like an AliExpress package, how they come, no shit. That's like, what the fuck's what the fuck happened? But they're not. It's a simple situation of a small dent. Same with all my fucking Super 7 stuff. It's always come dented because they ordered online.
Be reasonable.
Where you're coming from on that.
That's just my opinion. Like, and that, I don't want anybody to like, Gary's a fucking asshole. It's like, no, like, I'm not a selfish person. I only speak when I only express an issue to be addressed when I see it as an actual issue with the product. A box is, I'm not going to waste somebody's time because I do know that that person having to deal with my dumbass problem is fucking over more other people where they can be addressing that actual real issue.
Fair enough. I don't think like that, but now
I know because you and I got into it when I give you shit for wasting their time with the fucking foam board because it was bowing a little bit.
Yeah.
And they're like, break the foam board and send it back. Was that worth your time? Was that worth their fucking time?
No.
Was it worth anybody's time for a foam board? We all knew it was going to bow. We know how physics works, Steven. We all graduated high school.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, no, because I just made my own out of wood.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did your own. But what's even funnier about that is like, that's the strongest shit that they can do. Plastics are going to bow as well. That's just how physics work. There's no support in that middle. It's going to bow regardless. But that was just that for anybody that remembers, I gave Steven like shit for that. Like what, like fucking 15 episodes ago?
Yeah, more. But yeah, probably.
Boys, I got a jet.
Yeah, some people are going to hate me. But all right, Jay, thank you for joining. Love you.
Thank you, Jay.
Keep taking cool photos. Goodbye.
I'll do what I do. Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Well, nice 30-minute episode turned on to almost 2 hours.
Almost 2 hours. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on jumping on this. I just had this queued up anyway when we were talking about like our figures that we were hyped for. Let's get to you, Steven, in a second. But this is the one I was talking about because it's not a turtle. That's my most anticipated figure. $89. Look at this guy. That's Chen Stormstout.
Nice.
Like soft goods.
A lot of details on it.
Soft goods, plastic. All the hands, all the accessories, well, extra heads, and you pay more money, get a cool fucking display for them that lights up, and an extra outfit.
You're going to be doing that?
Of course I did.
Okay.
Of course I did. I actually have a hoodie that's designed exactly like Chen Stormstout's gi. I have an actual World of Warcraft hoodie that has those in the front.
Nice.
So, and there's the extra gi that you get. But anyway, that's why I'm on the show. And what's your number one?
It's not a figure. So it's not a figure. It's actually, it's going to be, to be honest, probably the pre-order of the kitchen for
the kitchen. So you can round it out because you got Donnie's Lab, right?
Yep.
I did not.
I know you didn't, but
I didn't. I still have to do all those. Remember we talked about me selling all those inserts?
Yep.
I'll show you. Oh, let's see if I can grab them without knocking them all over.
Did you sell a lot of them?
I've sold none of them because I haven't even posted them. I printed that many, and I have not even posted them because I haven't had time.
Okay.
That's how busy I am. I don't even have time to I can't guarantee I'll ship stuff out on time for people. I don't have time to do those, but I'm going to make those extra premium. I'm going to sand them down, and then I'm going to possibly clear coat them with UV resin so there's no lines, and then I'm going to paint them.
Nice.
But
I'll tell you this, I love the ones I got. I'm using all three.
Oh, that's right. I sent you some.
Yeah.
I didn't even do that. Those weren't extra premium, but yeah, I got them in all of I have all of my holes plugged.
Nice.
And I just ordered the one from Jonathan, Nostalgia Unboxed. The one for the
outside?
Yeah, it's for the back panel. Hold on. Oh my god, the turtle van. Like the do not enter turtle van one.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I just ordered that. I got a piece of hair hanging for my glasses now.
I gotta get that too. And the side.
I ordered that.
My side's open, so I gotta order that for the side.
Yeah, definitely do it. I think he also he has the sides that go over, right? Yeah, that's worth it. I think those are definitely worth it. No one else is doing. Some guy called him out on Instagram, was bitching about the pricing that he had on those. And I
remember.
Oh my god, it was so funny. It's like shut the fuck up, dude.
Pretty much. Exactly.
It's like he's not selling thousands of them. He's selling like 50, 60 maybe if he's lucky.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Shit costs money. Like you gotta recoup.
Exactly.
It's like we did at work. I talked about this the other day on a I think a podcast or something I was on. I was like, we used to charge $600 for shoes, and then we got them down to $250, and then our business partner was like, we can't afford that. We need to get them back up to $350 where we had them, and I guarantee you the same amount of people will buy them, and more people bought them at $350. So we were just fucking ourselves out of $100 every time we sold shoes. So. You make what you can make, and you just try to make it as fair as possible. And he makes it as fair as possible, but that's where it is, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hopefully no one hates me after this episode about that. If they got this far, me bitching.
No, definitely not. Don't worry, Gary. Everybody.
It really. Before we close out, it really does bother me. Like I have a different perspective. Like people can disagree that I think it's showing, not being selfish, but. I just, if I buy a figure, I think the package, should be at a certain standard. It doesn't if the thing's got fucking blade marks through it from them cutting open the boxes and then like the plastic's crushed and shit, like that makes sense. But like that thing's moving around in a box on its way to you, whether it came damaged from NECA or NECA damaged it on accident, in the office or when they're shipping it out, like any company, not specifically NECA. Like, think about like whose time you're wasting on such a petty thing, and how it's affecting your peers. So,
right. No, I agree, but I mean, you got to keep in mind too. We got these inbox collectors that want everything pristine because they're inbox protectors or collectors. I used to be one of those. To be honest with you, and now I have more fun opening them and playing with them. But the thing is I see both sides, right?
Yeah.
It's not like I can go to a store, especially in pre-orders, and pick the nicest box. So that's why I'm relying on NECA or whoever the company is to ship it out pristine if I was an inbox collector.
Right. But like if I was to play like far-fetched devil's advocate, like if you're an inbox collector, right, and there's a risk in the order, there's a risk in ordering it coming damaged. Anytime you order something, you're risking it coming damaged online, right? There's always the excuse always the rebuttal of, well, then don't order online. Go out and hunt for it. That's what everybody else does. If you need to see it in your hands before you buy it to make sure it's up to your quality, then don't buy it online. Well, what if it's an online exclusive? Well, then you're going to run the gambit of go online and buy it secondhand. Someone that already has it and is guaranteed what it looks like. And then you can give them instructions on how to fucking ship it so you can get it pristine. Like, you're going to end up maybe paying more money, but you want to be that picky. That is your choice to be an inbox collector, because you are technically being picky at that point of the overall delivery of the product. Like, you're buying a product, you're supposed to be opening it and moving it. Like, that's why they're not the statues, they're fucking articulated. But then you have to make the choice of how you want to purchase your product.
You got a good point on that.
Extra steps. You're gonna end up doing extra steps. You want to be picky, you gotta do some extra steps. That's just my personal opinion. Like, that's not fucking gospel.
You have a very excellent point on that.
You know, like, anything coming through a fucking mail service is gonna have a risk of being crushed.
Yeah, 100% or lost. But
or lost. Yeah. As someone who's had a lot of stuff lost in the mail, yes.
Yes. But no, for sure. No, I agree with you. I wasn't thinking in that way, but yeah.
You add variables to any situation. You got to be prepared to figure out your solution. That's just really how it is. It's like I tell Tom at work, stop giving yourself more things to do. Stop adding more projects, because you're giving yourself more options of something going wrong. Keep it simple, keep it straight, or have a solution already in hand. So
exactly.
There's the Confucius Gary for the evening.
Perfect.
All right, Stephen. Anything closing?
No, I'm good. How about you, Gary?
I'm good. I came into this insanely tired. I did not want to do this tonight. I really didn't. I almost bailed on you an hour and a half before we started. Okay. But I just kind of, when we had the idea to talk about specifically only Casey Jones, Mezco, and value prop for 30 minutes, and now we are almost at 2 hours talking about everything else. Maybe I think we should take a little bit of time off to recharge and not give this another 2 weeks. Maybe we'll do something short. I don't know. We'll see, because I got a busy September. I'm going to be in Granite State in 2 weeks, and then I'm going to be in New York Comic-Con after that. And we got LA Comic-Con coming up, Chronic Con in Chicago's coming up also in October, the week before, I think, New York Comic-Con, sometime around there. There's a lot of coming up. So I'm going to be busy. I'm very tired. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to commit. So maybe you can do this without me. I don't know.
I can try. It won't be the same, but I can try.
Yeah.
So
it won't be me just blabbering. All right, everyone. Well, thank you as always for jumping in. We're going to beam out. Sorry, there's no intro on this. We just want to get this posted as fast as possible. You're going to be seeing this on Friday, the 6th, today, 9/6. Hopefully you enjoy it. I'll catch y'all later.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.